Keep me cold and hot.
Hello, hello. Good morning, everybody.
Hello, Patrick. Hey, this is Tom from Tom and Dan.
Get rid of that.
Good
morning, everybody. Hello, hello.
About your job and what you do, and is it pronounced Grimmel or Grimmel?
Grimmel. That's a good last name.
I
We are
remember
doing a little weird job. Good morning. Good to see you guys.
Grimmel Grove.
That's a nice name.
All right, hold on one second,
Big
Patrick.
Doug was first in here. He's been saying it all morning. SJ's in here. Tracy. Keita, Riki. Cornish Cheesecakes. What up? Big Doug, Millionaire. Duncan, EJ, EMH. We do have a weird job for you guys. Let me make sure my song is ready and working. Okay, it is. All right. All right, buddy.
All right, let's do it.
Check, check. Hey. I'm glad you guys are here. All right, man. We're good. Do you want to start?
Sure.
Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. We're live on Twitch. We're live on YouTube. You can be here with us right now. Just go to those platforms, search at Tom and Dan Live. It's the same handle we use for all of our social media. And yeah, you can be in the chat room right now, hanging out, watching us live.
Also, if you want to sign up to become a BDM, those are our subscribers that get extra private events during the year. We also do BDM Appreciation Week coming up in April. You can sign up at tomanddan.com.
I can already see the stress in your brow from BDM Appreciation.
What again?
I know, it's coming around again.
I
know, we just finished, right?
Oh, the $5 shirts. I got an email.
Yeah. And you made this goal for you. Start $5 shirts, $4 shirts, $3 shirts, $2 shirts, $1.
Oh, we're sticking at 5. I can barely make 5 work. You know how expensive everything is there now? All right. So we got a weird job for you.
Do you want me to hit the thing?
Sure,
We're a little
yeah.
discombobulated.
Yeah.
I don't even think I checked to see if that guy could hear us on the line first. Normally I do that, but you know what? We're just going to roll it.
All right.
Let's just roll it. I was feeling spicy today. You told me a little bit about what this gentleman does.
Yeah.
This is all I got. I'm just going to give you all I got. I said, hey, what's this guy do? And you go, he's a grapefruit farmer.
Not breadfruit. Not grapefruit.
Oh, I thought you said grapefruit.
No, breadfruit.
I didn't hear no breadfruit. I heard grapefruit. Well, guess what? You're getting a grapefruit song. You're getting a grapefruit song. Okay.
Breadfruit.
So the man on the line is a breadfruit farmer.
Yeah. But
I heard, because we're stressed and we're screaming from opposite rooms, I heard grapefruit. So guess what? You're getting a grapefruit song, and I think it's one of my best. It's one of my best.
Is a fruit, but there's also grapefruit. What the fuck? A grape is a fruit, but there's also grapefruit. What the fuck? Something has to be done. There can be only one. Grapes versus grapefruit. Fight!
All right. That kind of works if you just replace bread with grapes. It's
yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah, it's not bad.
On the line with us is Patrick. How you doing, Patrick?
Good. It's Tom, right?
Yes. I'm here and Dan's here.
Yeah, I'm also here.
Hey, Dan.
Thanks for being here, man. We appreciate you taking the time to tell us about because we and this is Tom's genius. All jobs can be weird. And so now we're here, like it feels like 10 years later, and now every job we get, I can find something weird with it. So, hey, thanks for the time, man. We appreciate you doing this.
So
You got it, man. And I've been called weird before. So.
No, it's a compliment. In this day and age, man, we need
unique.
more. Yeah, we need more weird.
So, in fact, so unique, Patrick is the only one in the continental United States to be doing this. So that's how unique Patrick's job is.
Wow.
So Patrick, what is your weird job?
All right. So one of them is I grow breadfruit in Big Pine Key, and breadfruit's a superfood originally from like Polynesia, and it made its way all the way to Hawaii, and then about 300 years ago. It made its way to the Caribbean. If you ever remember the story, Mutiny on the Bounty.
Yes.
Yeah, so that was all the backstory of that was breadfruit. They were bringing breadfruit to like Jamaica and whatnot for slave food. Not kind of a dark story, but it made it eventually. And so, anyways, I decided to, after Hurricane Irma destroyed my property, I decided to plant the first breadfruit grove in continental United States.
So,
and breadfruit, just to refresh everybody, and I have some pictures up on Twitch and YouTube. The breadfruit, because I go to a lot of Asian markets, the breadfruit is the fruit that when my daughter sees it, no matter what, goes, yeah! Because it's crazy looking. It's big and lumpy, and they're humongous, right?
Well, I think you're probably thinking of its cousin, jackfruit.
Jackfruit.
Yeah. So,
so what's the difference?
And they're related. They're both articarpuses. So,
Okay, great.
They are related. The breadfruit is more like a potato in a tree in a sense, but still big. I mean, it's anywhere between a softball size and a cantaloupe size, depending on the variety. But really, what you can do with it is it's much more versatile because actually anything you do with potato, you can do with breadfruit. So you can make chips and
fries,
casseroles, and all that kind of stuff. And
breadfruit
and then,
fries.
Yeah, and by the way, I love that grapefruit song that you played.
Thank you.
To start off, but you got to check out the breadfruit song. There's actually a breadfruit song out there.
I will check it out.
Roast or fry.
Roast or fry, the breadfruit song. I'm writing it down right now.
So, Patrick, to talk about the breadfruit, so I have some experience with this in the fact that when we went to Hawaii, me and my wife and kids, and there was a lot of breadfruit in Hawaii. And then like we went to a restaurant, she had breadfruit fries. She's like, she couldn't believe how much it tastes like regular carbs or a potato
just
or
another
bread.
Starchy vegetable.
Yes,
like a yucca? Is it like a yucca?
Yucca adjacent, I would say. And then I got her
I'm into this all day.
I got her a breadfruit tree for Christmas, and then because I like plants and trees, and it grew fast as hell, and then I planted it, and then as soon as it got literally 50 degrees at night, one night, it killed it, dead. I mean, immediately.
Really? So it wasn't even like a freeze. It was just a little bit of cold.
I mean, it dipped down to 50 at night. And
cool, nice and cool. And bread tree goes,
oh, yeah. I thought it would maybe come back. I mean, it eradicated it. So they're super sensitive to cold, right?
Yeah, so that's one of its like the one flaw to it in a sense is it's super sensitive to cold, and that's why historically the only place that could grow it in continental United States was like Key West and the Lower Keys. You couldn't even grow it in Miami. Now that's changing a bit now. With like the winters aren't quite as cold as they used to be maybe 10 years ago. I think the last freeze in Miami might have been like 2011.
Yeah.
So some people are experimenting with breadfruit, but it's still not quite that safe to do a commercial crop, although I do know one person that has planted it, and we'll see what happens.
Are they allowed to do that, or do you have any like jurisdiction on breadfruit, much like a hot dog cart? Like a hot dog cart, once they get a corner, that's their corner, and if you go down there, they'll beat your kneecaps with a pipe.
No, man, I believe in sharing, man. There's more than enough.
Nice.
Well, I live in an island in the Florida Keys, man, so I'm the only tropical fruit grove in the Florida Keys. There's no other agricultural, agricultural project.
Crazy.
Oh, not even key limes?
Key limes are over, man. That's.
Hold on, can you say that again? I want that to be my text tone. Key limes are over, man. That was like that.
Why are they over?
Well, so there's a couple issues. You have the citrus greening and the citrus canker and things like that. So citrus is a bit of a challenge. That's one of the reasons.
Really?
And it just doesn't grow like it used to grow in the Keys. So, yeah, no, I'm not saying there's not key limes around. I'm just saying no one's really doing it at any kind of, capacity.
Where do they get the ingredients for key lime pie?
Well,
Excellent
usually your key limes are coming from Mexico, bro.
Oh, no.
Mexican key limes. Oh my God! I'm glad my father's dead. Well, I'm not glad my father's dead, but I'm glad he hasn't said. Oh, he'd be shaking his fist. Key lime pie was his number 2 favorite pie, behind lemon meringue.
That's Mexican lime pie.
Yeah. I mean, you got your home, homegrown limes and stuff like that.
They're Mexican key limes grown right on the coast of the Gulf of America.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we mix them both. Both things can be true.
So, Patrick, back to what your job is. So you have, a bunch of breadfruit trees. How many exactly is it, can you grow on your small island of Big Pine Key?
Well, so I have 2 acres, right, which is not big, but it's for the Keys. It's actually quite large piece of land. I have about close to 40 right now, and I have about another 150 in pots, and I plan to plant another probably 20. My goal is to have about 60 when I'm fully finished with this project, as far as planting it out. And then the goal is actually to get other people to plant it. Since I've started, the interesting part is no one knew what breadfruit was until I started doing this or most people didn't know what it was until I started doing this about 6 years ago. And so now it's been a lot of education. And one of the ways I do that is I actually partnered with the only breadfruit vodka distillery in the world called Mutiny Island Vodka, and they're out of St. Croix. So we make a vodka from the breadfruit as well. And so that's another side hustle that I do.
Oh, that's awesome.
As well.
Now, are you surprised, just like me and my wife were, at how interesting the breadfruit tastes and how close it is to an actual potato? Do you find that most people are surprised and that they never heard of breadfruit, or when they taste it, they're like, "What the hell? This is a fruit?"
Honestly, I don't think I've ever had it. And
It's crazy.
That kind of sucks because I like trying new things. It's weird that I've never had it.
It's more like bread than yucca is by far.
Okay.
I've had, everybody's had yucca fries and stuff oh, this is interesting.
They're
this is a fruit. Yeah, but when you have breadfruit fries, you're like, no way this is a fruit. This is a potato.
Yeah.
It's that close.
Exactly.
What's the money, swap on that? Your potato is to your breadfruit. What's the cost? Are potatoes still king because they're a kind of a massive crop?
Well, I mean, the thing is that breadfruit has been an underutilized crop, and that it's just in the last, I'd say, 10 years, really, where there's been this movement. It's really, you don't get much money for breadfruit. Now, I do, because I charge, much more because, I got the only grove in United States, continental United States, and this and that, and so my marketing's a little different.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're buying it in Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic, it's pretty cheap. It's a staple crop. That's the thing. One tree. Here's the deal. One tree can feed a family of 4 for a lifetime. It has the potential of really eradicating world hunger. And a tree,
Don't say that.
the breadfruit actually has, compared to any other staple crop in the world, like corn, potatoes, wheat, rice, it actually sequesters more carbon than even most trees. So it's actually really good for the environment. So you're, by doing breadfruit, you're getting those 2 things. And then the other thing about it's so versatile that it actually can create a lot of entrepreneurial jobs. You can actually make a gluten-free flour from breadfruit, and that's pretty much the biggest thing people are doing these days is making gluten-free flour. And that obviously has a great shelf life, because one of the challenges with breadfruit is the shelf life of it. It unlike a potato, it does ripen very quickly. It's pretty cool when it's ripe as well. It becomes sweet and very. You can make cake from it, and you can put it in your smoothie, and you can eat it raw then. It's so versatile. That's what's the fun part of it. People are always making new dishes and new things. Every time I go into the breadfruit world, I see something else happening. So it's a very exciting crop, and I think it's something for the future.
I think some people are challenged to try it because maybe they're ignorant like me, and
you can't get it really.
Well, you've also been poisoned by the term sweet breads. And then you confuse sweetbreads with breadfruit. and they're completely different animals.
So
Yeah.
Sweetbreads are glands, but breadfruit, I can get down with that.
So,
Yeah.
so Patrick, tell us your story about the Grimmel Grove, and that's where you're farming this breadfruit, and how you got involved, because you kind of took it over and revitalized it, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of really got a cool story, and that's part of the whole mystique to the Grove. It's this inventor. I'll just give you a little backstory. This inventor back in the 1950s, named Adolf Grimmel, who I named the Grove after. He wanted to get away from the world. He's like a reclusive engineer.
Yeah. They called him the
Really
nicer
interesting.
Adolf at the time. They called him Good Adolf.
He was the good Adolf. Good A, yeah.
Yeah, good A.
So anyways, he came down to Big Pine Key, and then, in the 50s there was no one there, at all. And he decides that two things he loved to do in life was dynamite and pour concrete. So what he did is he dynamites an acre of the property.
That's a 1 and 2, or dynamite and concrete. That's 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then gardening.
How about a hot cup of coffee, cigarettes, sex? None of that on there. Just concrete and dynamite. I like this.
That's
guy.
a real man.
Yeah, that is
Adolf Grimmel is a real man.
He's got a real man's
So
name.
you want to hear something really funny? So after he died in 1997, his house up in he's from like the Detroit area. And his house burned down. And when the fire department got to the house, they put the fire out, and they go down to the basement, and the entire basement is filled with expired dynamite. They had to call in the bomb squad.
Yeah, man. This guy's awesome.
I like you're sleeping in a house, your basement's filled with dynamite. like how
Slept like a baby.
That's a real man.
He slept like a baby.
Where you're just like never nervous about your entire not only house but probably neighborhood, your neighbors blowing
that's
up.
a crater. That's a crater for sure.
So he's back to the Grove. He's so he's in the 1950s. He's dynamiting the Grove out and building up these concrete walls. And then he trucks in soil, and then he goes around the tropical world smuggling fruit trees in for 40 years. And there's all kinds of cool stories of him, like.
Hold on, Patrick, real quick. So because I was going to ask you that about farming in the Keys, because a lot of people don't realize the Keys, it's just all rock and like coral. And coquino.
How do you do it?
It's like Miami. It's like there's no soil. My friends, I tell them to plant trees. It's like, I can't. This is rock.
Yeah.
It's like 6 inches deep. And so explain about the process of like even bringing in the soil to be able to farm there.
Well, yeah. So you'd have to bring that in. Now, you could do. You got to dig out the cap rock or dynamite it. You do need to find a way to dig it out. And I mean, he also used a pickaxe as well. I mean, he wasn't just dynamite. He was a hard-working man, and you do need to pick some of that rock out, and then either bring in soil or make soil, or the trees naturally over time kind of create a little bit of a topsoil, anyways. But he did it right. He like on the Grove, we now have up to 6 feet of soil, which is pretty unheard of in the Florida Keys.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to remember though, back in the day, like 100 years ago, the Florida Keys and South Florida were the biggest producers of pineapples. I mean, and you don't need a very deep soil for obviously pineapples. So, but there was other.
But
farming,
you do need a wife that's willing to,
Yeah.
Because you know what the pineapple means. It means welcome everyone.
I did not know that South Florida was a big pineapple farming area.
I think the History Center mentioned that at one point in passing when we had that gentleman that's a Florida photographer in here. Because we get bits and pieces of Florida history all the time, but it is interesting that now you're kind of taking up the helm with this breadfruit.
Yeah.
Man.
So how'd you even find out about all this? And like, I know you're getting to that part of like taking over Grimmel Grove and his farm.
Yeah. So what happened is, so he died in 1997, and then his family trust couldn't do it. Couldn't take care of it, so it ended up becoming a crack house, an illegal dump site, on homeless camps. Lots of great stories there as well. And
homeless love breadfruit, right? The crackies, they love the breadfruit. Did you know you can smoke crack out of a raw breadfruit? It's the only tuber, or in the tuber. I'm gonna stop now.
So I like it. So anyways. So I find this dilapidated grove, overgrown grove. About, I don't know, 13 years ago, I was doing a community food movement with the government, and kind of wanted to like educate people to grow their own food. It was part of like a food stamp program that I wanted to kind of empower people. And anyway, long story short, someone tells me about this property. It was for sale. So I visited it, and the real estate agent was kind of scared to even walk through it. And, you know, I walked through it. I kind of had this, like, bad idea to buy it. And there was like $850,000 worth of code enforcement fines from the government, and it was completely overgrown, and it was just a mess. But it had this vibe, and I just, you know, so I sank my retirement into it. And,
Whoa.
And basically bought the property and dealt with the government later, and that was a challenge. But we overcame that, and basically, again, just working hard, brought it back, turned this into kind of a edible park, trying to find ways around all the rules and restrictions, and eventually had my first profit in August 2017, and then 10 days later, a Category 4 Hurricane Irma destroys everything.
Oh my God!
And I was pretty down and out, and anyways, the one tree that I planted that survived was a breadfruit tree, and within 15 months, it was actually fruiting again, and it was completely like it came back with a vengeance. And we had about 2.5-3 feet of salt water come over the property, and we had 150-mile-an-hour winds, and most of the trees died. Some of the historic trees that Grimmel planted, made it through, but they were like, they're champion trees. But a lot of the other stuff died, and so this breadfruit came back, and it inspired me to plant the first. Its resilience inspired me to plant the first breadfruit grove.
Huh.
Jeez Louise.
So now,
Almost a super spiritual story, man.
breadfruit and the tree in general, like I noticed when I planted it up here, obviously it died, but in over the summer, it grew from a sapling to it was 6 foot tall. It was taller than my fence. Like I was amazed by how fast it grew. And then of course the cold killed it. But are they just super fast growing trees?
Yeah, I mean that was part of the reason why I planted it. It was because it's so fast growing. I'd get my landscape back. I could get back into doing my little agritourism thing. It also fruits very quickly. Fruits faster than your mango, your avocado, and so and it's a beautiful tree too. I don't know if you noticed that. It's just a beautiful tree. The leaves and so it's a very kind of a magical tree. So I went for breadfruit, man. I was like, obviously I'm not averse to taking a little bit of risk, so I went for it.
So how much?
I love that.
Where can people do they? If you wanted to find breadfruit in Central Florida, where do you even go for that?
Great question.
Well, I mean, if you probably need to go to one of your Asian markets to buy
That's where I go.
fruit.
That's all I shop at now.
Yeah, and then you can get them in nurseries though in the area. I know out in Pine Island, I guess that's what it's a little south of Tampa. There's a nursery out there that's called Fruitscapes. I know they sell breadfruit trees and stuff like that. But the funny thing is I think they kind of sell it, and people kind of buy it as like a annual almost. Let it grow, and then it dies in the winter, and then they do it again the next spring. But I mean, there's growers out there that they'll put lights on, and they'll heat it at night. And there's all these there's certain people that really work really hard to keep it alive. The nice thing where I live, I don't have to worry about it. And if you got the right climate, it's actually one of the easiest trees to grow. And that's the nice part. It's a very easy.
Are you
tree.
saying this to just bully Tom because he killed his?
Well, no, because of the cold. So I was going to ask you that, Patrick. Once it gets big enough, does it get cold hardy, or even a full-grown tree will die in 50-degree weather or whatever?
No, in a 50-degree, a full-grown tree should make it. It'll definitely affect it. It'll probably drop a lot of its leaves, but it should survive. Now, if it's prolonged, 50, that could kill it. But if you got 1 or 2 nights or 3 nights, it should make it. Because I know Miami, it still gets down here in the high 40s down here in Miami. The Keys are typically about 10 degrees warmer in a cold
Yeah.
at night than Miami. So yeah, I mean, again, the best thing is that, you know, if you have a tree up there and it's going to dip down, you know, throw you know, irrigate it before and during and after that keeps the soil temperature a little warmer.
Yeah.
So that can help and things like that. So, you know, you're definitely gonna need to baby it up there, and you know, no fault to yourself.
I pour boiling water on my plants when it's cold.
Patrick, I'm gonna grow one up here, and then I'm gonna email you a picture next year.
Do it.
Oh,
I love it.
And I'm gonna put lights on it at night.
Now, are there specific ones that, or can you just get a seed from anywhere, or can we source a seed from Patrick and use one of his?
Well, you can source from me. So, like, a lot of the breadfruits are seedless. And that's good for, you know, not being invasive to our place. But what we do is I air layer them as well. They air layer pretty easily. That's when you take a branch and kind of like scar it and wrap it with sphagnum moss and like rooting hormone, and it roots out on that branch.
Yeah.
And then you cut that. So we do stuff like that as well. But yeah, it's so the challenge with breadfruit is a lot of people don't know what it is, you know, and that's one of the challenges.
So it's hard to get people to try it, like, because like I feel like you have this superhuman superfood product. You can do a lot with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like the upkeep's really bad. You're passionate about it. You can grow a lot of it quickly.
They're big too, right? What's the typical size of a breadfruit once you harvest it?
Like, so it just keeps growing. Honestly, it's like it can get up to. It's not going to get up to 100 feet in the Keys, but I've seen it in the Amazon up to 100 feet.
Jesus Christ!
I was talking about the fruit itself, like.
Fruit itself, like it's about the size of a bowling ball or something, or like say like a cantaloupe.
Right. It's pretty big.
So
it's
you're
sizable.
And one of those can, like, I mean, do you have to like peel anything off of it to get to the good stuff or anything? Is there preparation that you have to do that's any different than potatoes, or is it pretty standard?
The best thing is you typically peel it, just like a potato. You peel it. You don't have to, just like potato. Some potatoes you leave the skin on.
Sure.
You can leave, depending on the variety, you can leave the skin on if you want. Now you typically cut it in half and you take the core out. There's a little core. Again, you don't have to. It's just the core I would say is even It's like spongier.
Gotcha.
So you can just take the core out, and then just cut it up and fry it up or roast it. A lot of people, like in the islands, in the Caribbean islands, what they do is they roast it on a fire. They don't like wrap it in anything. They'll just roast the whole thing, which is interesting. The skin then hardens and it becomes like a bowl, and you just cut it in half and you just like scoop it out. You throw some garlic, onions. And so, like, in the islands, like in Trinidad, like I have friends in Trinidad and Jamaica, and what they'll do is, they'll go to the beach and they'll just like roast breadfruit.
And it's like savory.
That sounds
it's
lovely.
Yeah, I'm telling you, for anybody who's never tried breadfruit,
I'm in.
It is bizarre that this is growing from a tree. Like when you taste it, you're like, I've never had anything like this. That's a fruit.
It's weird that I've never had it too, and I see that. I see it
it's
all the time.
rare.
Yeah.
And like Patrick said, he's the only one in the continental United States to be growing them.
That's crazy.
Now, Patrick, business-wise, going back to making this a job, so you have this grove. I've seen it online, and throw out your website real quick because it's a beautiful property.
Yeah, so it's grimmelgrove.com is the website, and it is a pretty property, and we don't just grow breadfruit. We're growing all kinds of different fruit trees. It's a food forest, really. 365 days a year, there's something fruiting, and that's the goal. To be able to go outside and pick a fruit every day of your life. And one thing we do is we do tropical fruit hunting tours on the property, and then we do that daily. So it's like a 90-minute tour, and you tour the property and you try some fruit, and it's a kind of a foodie experience, a botany and history and a foodie experience, and that's kind of how we kind of survive because we are we're in a tourist area. And agriculture is a very difficult, challenging profession. Obviously, small farms are struggle typically, and that ag tourism is really how we really survive. And actually, this coming year in 2026, we're doing a dinner series, a cultural dinner series. We're doing a taste of Thailand with authentic Thai dinner with Thai dancers and all that kind of stuff. We're doing a jam and Jamaican buffet with music, art, and great Jamaican food. We'll probably have some breadfruit for that one as well. And then we're going to do a breadfruit for the love of breadfruit. It's a 5-course inspired breadfruit dinner. And we're bringing celebrity chef Sam Choi from Hawaii.
Oh, wow, man.
And he's coming in, and he's going to cook up some stuff, and we're going to have, like, the drums of Polynesia, these fire dancers, Polynesian kind of fire dancers.
Man, you're kicking ass. This sounds amazing, dude. If you were in Orlando, you'd see me all the time because you're doing it right.
Well, they can't grow here.
I know.
I just told you.
I know.
50 degrees.
I heard the whole history of them. Yeah, I can't do nothing. But if I come to the Keys, it's just so far, Tom. Have you been to the Keys from here? It's so far.
Yeah, but you're right. And,
I think there's direct flights from Orlando, though. So
I would do that. I would do that. This sounds amazing, man. Yeah. It's really cool that you've done this and to sink your savings into it and truly believe in it and kind of sacrifice your future to get it going. It's really cool to see it succeeding, man.
So Pat,
I appreciate that.
Patrick, I'm curious to, you must be stressed every hurricane
season. Sounds very calm.
Well, no, I know, because this is a dream job for me. I love plants, and then
you're a good host.
And
hosting the people. The people come, hey, come on in. We're about to start the the Jamaican bands here. All right, in the corner. Yeah, and this is you all day.
Also, most people have never eaten a fruit from a tree to your table, from tree to table.
I haven't.
I
don't think I have.
Which is surprising, right, Patrick? That I'm sure you encounter a lot of people that are I've never had a fruit right off a tree before.
Yeah, no, and that's why it's a cool experience, whether it's locals or tourists alike. A lot of people haven't had that experience. And the nice thing we're also doing a youth program. We're really engaging the students in our county and engaging the school system to kind of teach our children about connecting to food, and I think it's a very important mission, and to complement all the other things we're trying to do at the Grove. So the other one of the beautiful stories is I've been kind of working this for a long time, and the county has been a challenge at times, but recently, about a year ago, they came to me and said, listen, we want this to succeed, and we want, we can't really allow farming in the county because it's a sensitive area, but we want to make, Grimmel Grove basically like the tropical fruit education research center of the Keys, in a sense, to just dumb it down a little bit. So it's really great to see the community behind it, the government getting behind it, and it's a good overall story.
Is that something that they kind of had to do to make sure that you were on the up and up? Is that them?
Yeah, dude. I was kind of like an outlaw farmer.
Yeah, that's what I meant. It sounds like you were you were a nice person.
It's kind of like NASCAR, man. It's kind of like keep doing it until they make it legal.
Yeah, you can cheat as long as they don't catch you cheating. There, that restrictor plate's gonna get you one of these days.
Yeah, no. But it's nice to see that. That they're getting behind it.
Yeah.
Obviously that's one of your challenges, one of the biggest challenges in for any business. So yeah, it's exciting. It's a kind of exciting time, and I'm really really stoked, man.
So Patrick, back to being stressed. This is the first year since 2011 or something that we had no hurricanes hit the United States.
Pretty calm out there.
But every hurricane season, I'm sure it goes through your mind man, it's one bad storm, especially going through the Keys. You're right on the water. It could destroy your whole place. Do you live with that fear all the time, or have you just given it up and hey, what happens?
In September, I do. I'd say in September, I get a little anxious. I try not to watch the news too much. That's probably the most stressful thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, September's a little bit of a, a little bit of a fear. But overall, man, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's part of life, man. You got to go for it. And I'm not saying I don't get stressed, but I don't have my down days. But yeah, I don't try to live that way, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
Yeah,
getting
There's
stressed
nothing
is,
you can do.
everybody gets stressed. It's how you handle the stress.
Yeah, I
you
guess.
know?
And,
And you
Exactly.
sound pretty good. Like, you sound like you've come to terms with it, that this is probably what you should be doing.
yeah.
It
just
sounds like it to me.
it's kind of a weird, and follow me with
This might be one of our weirdest jobs.
Well-
I'll put it up there.
Like the fact
It's a goodie.
that at any year a Category 5 hurricane could come through South Florida like it has before, and then like wipe all this hard work out, right? And so, but the fact that you know that is kind of like you have to live every day. You almost live like you're dying. It's like
Write that down.
it's
Hold on,
like,
right
Yeah,
there.
well, you know what's interesting? You're saying that. So there's this business guy that came to the Grove after the hurricane. That
Was
you know,
his name
like-
Tom Van?
No,
Under the
I-
pseudonym Mr. Business?
So this guy, he's like, Patrick, I give you 1 in a billion chance of making it.
Oh, what a nice
So-
gentleman.
that sounds like what
Oh, my God. It was Tommy.
I wrote that down.
He wrote, live like you're dying. You have
One
no
in a
chance.
billion.
but the funny part, no, then he qualified, but he's like, but everyone likes an underdog. And so,
Yeah, but being
I'm
liked and failing are two different things.
but the thing was, I was like, man, that's not very good chances, bro. that's not.
But see, you have a
but-
good attitude about it. Like, just the fact that you're laughing about this, like, I don't know if I'd laughed at that. I told that guy to get the hell off my property. And so I think you're in the right thing. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds like, you took it as almost like, not a compliment, but it is sort of a challenge.
A challenge.
Were you looking,
A challenge.
let me ask you this. When you saw it, you're looking at this dilapidated property, that it's been destroyed. You're going to have to deal with, I think you said the number was $850,000 worth of code enforcement issues that you're dealing with the property. You look at this and you said, I think your words were, I had a bad idea, but something was calling you to do it. So were you looking for adventure? What were you doing beforehand that, like, what forced you? Because it sounds like this is what you're supposed to be doing. That's a long-winded way of saying it.
Yeah, I agree. No, like I said, I was working for the government, and I was tasked with food stamp outreach, and I wanted to empower the community. I wanted to not just give food away, but actually teach people to live. Live.
Why do
not
you think
necessarily
that?
just-
Why do you think that value is weighted so heavily in your mind? Of
I
people.
think it makes a more. I think it makes a more resilient world and a better community and a stronger community and a more resilient community. I think that's a good thing. I feel like the world has so many fractures and whatnot, and I think food obviously is a gathering point,
It
right?
is a common ground, man. Yeah.
a common ground, right? And so
Everybody needs it.
and there's no political divides really with what I was doing too. Either side could really get behind it
True.
from their own perspective. So I was in my mid-30s, and I said, you know what? Worst case scenario, I can always go back to the government, or I could always get some job. It's like this is the time to do it, and sometimes I've chuckled. I was young enough and naive enough to go for it.
You're also doing
honestly,
something that I think Tom weights heavily too, is that you're doing it in it's in the area you're doing it. It's like you're not just doing it you're not doing it in the middle of Wisconsin.
If this is in Pittsburgh,
Yeah,
it'd be
thank you.
rough.
Yeah, you're not doing it right outside of Inglewood Cliffs, New Jersey. You're doing this in Key West, which does make it better, because even if you're failing, you just have to look around and you might get a little more motivation. At least I would.
Yeah, I mean, during COVID, honestly, I was having a great time. I was like eating off the trees, and I was like kind of, yeah. It's like it's a unique place. It's a unique project, a unique property in a unique place. So being in the Keys. So,
Are you a
definitely,
married man? Because the ladies in the chat room are lusting after you right now.
Oh, my wife left me.
Hey, well, you got a whole line. You got a whole line of ladies moving to Key West from our chat room.
Yeah.
'Cause
I like that.
They
No.
like you. They like the cut of your jib. They like the fact that you're motivated, you're laid back, you got a good attitude.
Well, wait until he's working all day and never comes inside to give you any attention.
I'll cook him some breadfruit.
That will be a problem.
So, Patrick, going back to because when you were talking, I thought about this, where we have lost our human connection to food,
The land.
and what it meant to grow your own food. Nobody does that obviously anymore because we have to live in a society that we
gotta
do
go buy
not.
it.
And so, but we did that for hundreds of thousands of years, and that's how we survived as humans. So there was always that connection of growing your food or killing your food, and knowing what that means, and like appreciating it more.
Well,
like
it
it was hard.
There was a responsibility too,
Yeah.
right? Like you weren't wasting it. You were killing something, and you knew the responsibility of you taking that life was to use every part of the animal because you needed to do that.
And it was hard to do, and like
yeah.
hard to grow a plant. Like things go wrong and stuff. So
there's like a willpower trait out there.
I love the tourism fact of what you're showing people, and you're giving them a glimpse of what that means. Like, here's where the fruit is from the tree. We're gonna eat it right off the tree.
Yeah.
We're gonna understand how to cook it.
Yeah.
Like all that
That's awesome.
is I think people get something from that.
I agree, 100%. 100%.
And I think that a lot more people as society, gets further and further away from that, is going to seek that out. And like the tourism aspect.
I know I am. I love going I like going to farms now more than I ever have, and I think it's a direct result of phones.
Well,
farms over phones, man.
And Patrick, for sure, when they finally legalize pot in Florida, you're going to have a little section of some marijuana plants, and then people can also, while they're cooking and roasting their breadfruit, they're
you know
smoking.
what makes breadfruit taste even better? Also, the chat room, there's women in the chat room, one of them saying you can eat right off of her tree. She said, okay, I'll throw that out there.
I'll take her up on that.
There you go. All right. Well, we've made.
They don't even know what he looks like.
It doesn't matter. Did you hear
it's just
the-
his personality and his
work.
lifestyle.
That does work with ladies.
Personality and lifestyle?
Absolutely. If he's a hard worker, he takes risks. He sounds sort of macho. He's got a cool, laid-back attitude. He sounds kind.
Yeah, but there had to be a reason for his first wife.
That's true.
I don't know,
Would you slap her around?
Well, part of the marriages aren't easy.
I hope you El Kabonged her over the head with a breadfruit. Just.
That's fine. No, it was just, the hurricane had a lot of devastation. So that's just part of life.
Sometimes the worst hurricanes out there are the ones that break your heart.
That's right, man. So, but yeah, man. Overall, though, things are in the up and up, and I'm excited. I mean, I'd love for you guys to come on down, fly down to Key West.
I would love that.
We'll give you a tour of the property.
I want to do the chef night with the because that sounds amazing when you get somebody in there who knows what they're doing, just cutting it all up.
Again, it's grimmelgrove.com, and that's where you find it.
Yep.
And
there's all kinds of events on there, community. There's a store. You can look at the bottom right-hand corner. It says book now. So if you do want to book it, and tell them you heard him here, because we love good feedback, man.
Yeah, that would be great. I really appreciate being on the show, guys.
Yeah, no problem, Patrick.
You were awesome, man. Keep doing what you're doing, and we appreciate your time.
Yeah,
okay.
we'll hope to see you soon.
Appreciate it. All right, take care, guys. Bye.
See you, man.
All right, that's
Chat
Patrick
room was absolutely more embarrassing than they've ever been.
Wow.
And I said some of their things because I said I would, but you guys are out of control. You can't treat men like that. They're not just pieces of meat. You can't just get some guy on the line that's sharing his breadfruit, and then you start winging around about how he can eat off your tree, or I want to see his big breadfruit. You are animals.
It's interesting that just from the lifestyle of because it does seem like a cool lifestyle, but it's the guy's farming and he's the hard ass work.
Hard work.
But that's where the money is. The tourism is.
You gotta get some dum-dums in there to buy a couple shirts.
No, it's not even that. But it's like the experience that he's providing and the dinners.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's all about the dum-dums. Yeah. You gotta get them in, exit through the gift shop, man. That's how you do it.
All right, we will see you tomorrow.
Awesome. He is awesome. Really good. All right. Are we done? Are we doing... We have to do something else, don't we?
It's just commercials and stuff, but we got to eat lunch before we leave. And I think we have to leave here at 12:30.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Tracy, are you asking for codes again? Or is that the... okay, yes, you are. All right. because my phone's just going crazy. I can feel it vibrating my balls. And I know what it is because texts don't do that.
All right, but that's all we're going to record.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for today. So we've got a special assignment in DeLand later today.